Perennials are supposed to come back every year, but most of them bloom for 3 weeks and spend the next 5 months just taking up space in your yard. 3 weeks of color and then nothing. That is not a garden. That is an expensive disappointment. These 11 perennials bloom from late spring all the way through the first killing frost, and at least 6 of them your neighbors have never planted. Subscribe to Backyard Yield right now. Every week, this channel delivers the exact information that saves you money at the nursery, saves you time in the yard, and makes sure the solutions find you. You won't have to go searching for them. The next video on this channel is something every gardener in this country needs to see before they buy a single plant this season. Subscribe so it lands in your feed the moment it goes live. Number 1 is Scabiosa, the pincushion flower. This one looks so delicate and refined in the border that most people assume it must be difficult and fussy. It is not. Scabiosa is much tougher than it looks, and it blooms from June through late August. With steady deadheading, some varieties can push clear into October. The flowers come in soft lavender blue, clean white, and deep burgundy red. Those colors bring the feeling of a wildflower meadow, even in a structured formal border. Scabiosa is hardy in zones 3 through 7, with cold tolerance that surprises most gardeners, especially considering how fine and delicate the plant appears. Place it in the front to middle of a border, where those long, slender stems can move naturally in the breeze. Cut them often for the house, too. Scabiosa is one of the best and longest-lasting cut flowers of any perennial on this list. One mature, established plant can produce more than 2,000 seeds in a single season. Deadhead consistently if you want to control the spread. Or let it go and allow it to naturalize across an area with a wildflower quality that looks completely intentional. Painted lady and swallowtail butterflies are especially drawn to Scabiosa during peak summer bloom. In the right setting, it works like a butterfly landing pad from June straight through the end of summer. Number 2 is Amsonia, also called Blue Star. This is the Native American perennial that gives you 2 completely separate and completely spectacular performances in one growing season. And the vast majority of American gardeners have never once seen it growing in a yard. The first show happens in late April and May, when star-shaped powder blue flowers open above clean, willowy foliage. That soft blue is a color almost nothing else in the spring garden can produce. Not purple, not violet. A true clear powder blue that reads beautifully from across the yard. Then the flowers finish. The foliage stays attractive and full through the summer. And in October, something remarkable happens. The entire plant turns a brilliant golden yellow, rivaling the fall color of ornamental trees that cost 10 times as much. 2 shows for the price of 1 plant across zones 3 through 9. Cut Amsonia back by 1/3 in late June to keep it compact and encourage denser, more impressive fall color. If you leave it unpruned, it can get floppy through the middle of the season, and the autumn display loses some of its impact. Gardeners in the southeast and mid-Atlantic pay special attention here. Amsonia tabernamentana is native to your specific region. It will establish faster and root deeper than almost any imported variety. Native bees that overwinter in hollow stems use the dried stalks of Amsonia as nesting habitat through the cold months. That is one more reason to leave some standing after the season ends. If you are watching this and you have not subscribed to Backyard Yield yet, think about this for a second. You just learned about Agastache, Scabiosa, and Amsonia in the last few minutes. 3 plants most gardeners go years without ever discovering. This channel brings you that kind of information every single week. Subscribe right now and share this video with someone whose garden needs exactly what this list is about to deliver. Number 3 is Clematis, the queen of the climbing garden. And most American gardeners are using only a small part of what this plant can actually deliver. The standard image is a purple clematis growing on a mailbox post. And there is nothing wrong with that. But it shows only one narrow use for a plant with one of the broadest design ranges of any perennial in the country. Deep purple, rich burgundy, soft pink, clean white, bicolors with contrasting centers. The color range across clematis varieties is wider than almost anything else on this list. Clematis is hardy in zones 4 through 9, and it can bloom from late spring through early fall, depending on the variety. The real strategy for stretching clematis color across the whole season is to choose 3 different varieties with staggered bloom times. Plant an early bloomer, a midsummer variety, and a late bloomer together on the same structure. That gives you continuous flower color from May through September on one trellis. Grow it up an arbor. Run it across a fence. Let it climb through an established shrub. Train it over an old tree stump. Anywhere vertical structure exists, clematis can transform it. The one rule that matters most, and the one that saves the plant's life in northern gardens, is this. Plant it with its head in full sun and its roots shaded and cool. Mulch the base heavily. Plant a low ground cover around the crown. Keep those roots from baking in summer heat, and Clematis will perform reliably for you year after year. Native bees searching for early summer pollen find Clematis flowers at exactly the right moment, before most other climbing plants have opened at all. Number 4 is Crocosmia. This is the most visually dramatic late summer perennial on this entire list. And the fact that most American gardeners have never planted it is one of the great missed opportunities in U.S. home gardening. When Crocosmia reaches full bloom in July and August, the arching stems are loaded with fiery orange-red flowers. They look like living flames moving through the border. There's truly nothing else in the summer garden that creates that same feeling of heat and drama. Some varieties come in golden yellow and deep scarlet. But that vivid orange-red is the color that makes people stop their cars when they see it growing in a yard. Crocosmia is hardy in zones 5 through 9, and the key to getting reliable return performance in zones 5 and 6 is simple. Mulch the corms heavily in November with a 4-inch layer of shredded leaves over the whole planting area. That insulation gives them exactly what they need to survive the freeze-thaw cycles of northern winters. Then they come back strong every spring. Plant Crocosmia in front of ornamental grasses, where those arching stems can be appreciated in full. Or mass it in a cutting garden where the stems make extraordinary long-lasting arrangements. Hummingbirds are irresistibly drawn to the tubular orange flowers from July onward. Plant this near a window you look out of often. You will have a front row seat to daily hummingbird visits through the heart of summer. Number 5 is Chelone, the turtlehead. This is the Native American perennial with a flower so genuinely unusual that people stop in the middle of a garden tour and ask what it is every single time. No exceptions. The hooded pink flowers really do look like a turtle's open mouth. Not in a vague way. Not in a way where you have to squint. It is obvious the moment you see the plant in bloom. The flowers range from rich pink to deep rose pink, and they bloom from August through October. That makes Chelone one of the latest blooming native perennials available to American gardeners almost anywhere in the country. It is hardy in zones 3 through 8, and the place Chelone belongs is anywhere the soil stays consistently moist. Rain gardens, low spots along a fence line, the edge of a stream or pond, part shade borders where the soil stays damp, and late season color is almost impossible to find. If your yard has a low, wet area where other plants drown and nothing seems to thrive, Chelone will treat that problem spot like paradise. Bumblebees are the main pollinators of this plant. The flower is shaped specifically to fit their size and weight. And in late summer, when bumblebee colonies reach their peak population, a stand of Chelone in full bloom becomes one of the most ecologically active and visually alive places in any American yard. Out of everything on this list so far, Agastache, Amsonia, Baptisia, Crocosmia, and Chelone. Which one genuinely surprised you the most? Leave that in the comments right now. Gardeners in your zone are reading those answers, and they are making planting decisions based on exactly what you share. Number 6 is Veronicastrum, also known as Culver's root. And the fact that most American gardeners cannot name this plant is one of the biggest missed opportunities in American perennial gardening today. Walk through any serious botanical garden from the Midwest to the Mid-Atlantic in July, and you will find it. Tall, architectural, absolutely commanding at the back of a border. White or soft lavender candelabra-style flower spikes rise 4 to 6 feet straight up. They bring a structural presence that almost nothing else in the summer garden can copy. This is not a delicate plant. This is not a filler plant. Veronicastrum is a statement. And once you place it correctly in a yard, it becomes the plant every visitor asks about without fail. It is hardy in zones 3 through 8 and blooms from July through September. It is also documented as a nectar source for more than 100 species of native bees and butterflies across U.S. ecosystems. In the native plant world, ecologists classify it as a keystone species for mid-Atlantic and Midwestern landscapes. That means entire communities of insects and birds organize part of their seasonal activity around its presence. Plant it at the back of a border, or place it in the center of an island bed where that height can be fully appreciated. Pair it with Echinacea in front and ornamental grasses alongside it. That combination looks like something a professional designer charged thousands of dollars to create. Established clumps spread slowly and steadily over 3 to 4 years. They become impressive, self-supporting columns that need no staking, even with that serious height. The stems are naturally strong. They hold themselves upright through summer storms that flatten weaker plants around them. Give it room from the beginning. Leave it alone. And within 2 full growing seasons, Veronicastrum can become the most talked about plant in your yard. Number 7 is Aster, specifically Symphyotricum species. Every gardener has a September problem. The summer perennials are slowing down. The annuals are exhausted. The yard starts to look tired, thin, and honestly, a little sad. And most American gardeners just accept that as the way things are. They assume fall is simply the end of the garden season and there is nothing they can do about it. Aster is the plant that proves that idea completely wrong. Symphyotrichum species, the true perennial asters native to North America, bloom from August through hard frost. They hit their peak in September and October when almost everything else in your garden has already finished. You get clouds of small daisy-like flowers in purple, blue, pink, and white. Depending on the variety, the plants can reach 2 to 4 feet tall. And at the exact time of year when late-season pollinators need food most desperately, Aster delivers. Bees, butterflies, and beneficial insects preparing for winter all use it. Aster grows in USDA zones 3 through 8. It handles full sun to partial shade, and it prefers average to moist, well-drained soil. Here's the technique that separates gardeners who get beautiful, compact asters from gardeners who get tall, floppy, disappointing ones. Pinch the stem tips back in late May. Then pinch them again in late June. Each pinch creates more branching. More branches mean more flower buds. More flower buds mean a plant so covered in bloom by September that you can barely see the stems underneath. Gardeners who skip the pinching often get plants that fall open, lean sideways, and need staking. Gardeners who pinch get a naturally compact flowering mound that needs nothing. Ryden's Favorite and Purple Dome are two varieties specifically bred for compact habit and heavy bloom. Both are available across the country, and both deliver the September and October color that turns a tired fall garden into something genuinely worth walking outside to see. Here's the question I want you to answer honestly in the comments right now. Is your fall garden as colorful and as alive as your spring garden? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, which plant from this list are you adding this fall to change that? Drop it below. I want to see what gardeners all across the United States are planning. Because this comment section has some of the most knowledgeable and passionate gardeners I have ever come across. And your answers genuinely help other people watching this video find the right plant for their own yard. Number 8 is balloon flower Platycodon grandiflorus. Every list needs a closer that makes people stop and say, I have never seen that before. What is it? Where do I get it? This is that plant. Balloon flower gets its name from the buds. Before they open, they inflate into perfect little round balloons. Tight. Smooth. Almost geometric. Then they pop open into wide, star-shaped flowers in a shade of blue that is genuinely rare in the perennial world. True blue. Not purple. Not blue-purple. Blue. And in a garden full of pinks, yellows, and whites, a plant that produces true blue flowers in June and keeps producing them through September becomes the plant every visitor asks about. It grows in USDA zones 3 through 8. It handles full sun to partial shade and well-drained average soil. This is a plant that truly rewards patience. It is slow to establish in its first year, and it emerges from the ground very late in spring. So late that gardeners regularly dig it up by accident because they think it died over winter. Mark the spot in fall before the foliage disappears. Use a stake. Use a label. Use a ring of small stones. Use anything that tells you not to dig there. Because underneath that bare soil, a perfectly healthy plant is getting ready to give you one of the most unique flower shows in your entire garden. Balloon flower comes in blue, white, and pink. The blue variety is the one worth seeking out specifically because that color is so rare in the perennial world. Sentimental blue is a compact variety that works beautifully at the front of borders and in container plantings. Astra blue is another reliable performer with a classic upright habit. Deadhead spent flowers regularly, and it will bloom from June through September. Cut it back to the ground in late fall after frost. It comes back every year without fail. And as the root system matures and strengthens, it gets slightly better and fuller with each passing season. This is the plant that makes your garden feel like it has a secret. And now you know what it is. Number 9 is Black-Eyed Susan, Rudbeckia fulgida. There are two very different plants being sold under the Black-Eyed Susan name. Rudbeckia hirta is an annual or a short-lived biennial. It blooms beautifully and then it dies. Rudbeckia fulgida is the true perennial. It comes back every single year. It spreads slowly into a dependable colony, and it blooms from July all the way through hard frost. That means it is still standing and still bright yellow when almost everything else in your garden has already given up for the season. Rudbeckia fulgida grows in USDA zones 3 through 9. It tolerates clay soil. It tolerates partial shade. The specific variety called Goldsturm is the gold standard. It is uniform, compact, and one of the longest blooming selections available. When you go to the garden center, do not just grab the plant with the prettiest tag. Turn it over and read the botanical name. If it says Fulgida, you are holding a perennial that can still be in your garden 15 years from now. If this list is already giving you ideas for your garden this season, do me a quick favor. Share this video with one gardening friend who complains every August that their yard looks dead. You might change their entire gardening life. And if you have not subscribed yet, now is the time. We have 8 more plants to get through, and every single one of them gets better from here. Number 10 is catnip. Most American gardeners underplant this one badly, and that is a real shame. Because almost nothing gives you more color for less work across more months than a well-placed catnip border. The flowers are a soft lavender blue, and when a full planting reaches its stride in late May, it looks like a purple cloud sitting right at ground level. That bloom does not stop. In most U.S. gardens, catnip runs from late May through October. The secret to keeping it going that long is one clean cutback, right after that first big June flush. Take your shears and cut the plant back by 1/3. Cut it hard. Within 3 to 4 weeks, it returns fuller and more loaded with color than it was the first time. Catnip is hardy in zones 3 through 8. That means whether you are gardening in northern Minnesota or across the mid-Atlantic states, this plant was built for your climate. Put it along pathways. Let it drape over the front edge of a border. Allow it to spill down a slope. It spreads beautifully without becoming the kind of plant that takes over. Every bee in your zip code will find it. From May straight through frost, there is almost always something working those flowers. And the garden feels alive because of it. Number 12 is Echinacea. And before you decide you already know everything about this one, stop and listen. Because the Echinacea your grandmother grew, that single purple cone standing stiffly in the back border, is not what American gardeners can buy right now. Plant breeders have completely transformed this plant over the past decade, and most people are still buying the old version. Today's Echinacea comes in salmon, deep red, golden yellow, creamy white, and bicolors that look like they belong on a painter's canvas. Varieties like Sunseeker's Salmon and Cheyenne Spirit are showing up at nurseries across the country right now. And they perform reliably in zones 3 through 9. That is coast-to-coast adaptability that almost no other perennial can match. The bloom window runs from early summer clear through fall. And when the flowers finally fade, do not cut those seed heads down. Leave them standing straight through winter. Goldfinches and chickadees depend on them when the ground is frozen solid and every other food source has disappeared. No native perennial in this country attracts more species of pollinators per square foot than Echinacea at peak bloom. Southern gardeners in zones 7 through 9 choose heat-tolerant varieties. And give your plants some afternoon shade during the hottest months. That single adjustment makes the difference between a plant that thrives and one that burns out before Labor Day. 11 perennials. Between them, they can keep your garden blooming from May straight through October, with less water, less maintenance, and less money spent every single spring than you are probably spending right now on plants that do not come back. The best garden you have ever had is not a matter of luck. It is not about perfect soil. It is not about perfect weather. And it is not about having a perfect yard. It is about knowing which plants to put in the ground. And now you know 11 of them. If this video gave you even one idea that is going to change something in your garden this season, share it. Send it to a friend. Post it in a gardening group. Leave it in the comments of another gardening video you love. Because the gardeners who need this information most are probably not the ones who found it on their own. And if you are still not subscribed after sitting through this entire list, I genuinely do not know what else I can do for you. Backyard Yield exists for American gardeners who want real information, real variety names, real zone specifics, and real results. If that is you, and clearly it is because you watched all the way to the end, then subscribe right now. Hit the bell. Turn on notifications. The next video is already in the works, and it is going to be just as detailed and just as useful as everything you just watched. Drop your zone and your state in the comments below. Tell me which plants you are adding to your garden first. And tell me honestly, how many months out of the year is your garden actually looking its best right now? Because that number is about to get a whole lot bigger. Thank you for watching. Now go plant something.